Good evening and a very warm welcome to St. Talks for Parents. For those joining us for the first time, St. Talks for Parents is a free webinar series. Each session brings together expert educators, trainers, and specialists to have honest, practical conversation with parents because we believe that when parents are informed and empowered, children thrive. And as many of you may already know, Cinda has recently launched our dedicated online tutoring initiative designed to bring high quality, teacher accredited learning support directly to your children at home. The parent webinar is part of that larger commitment to walk alongside you, not just the classroom, but in every corner of your child's learning journey. Before we begin today's session, a quick few notes. To keep the session truly interactive, we would love for you to keep the live chat active. Drop your questions, reactions, and comments there anytime. We have a dedicated Q&A at the end. So do keep those questions coming. We'll also have poll questions throughout the session. Please do engage with those as diligently. Your responses help us make the conversation richer for everyone. In today's fast paced 21st century world, parenting has become more complex than ever. We see a generation of children who are tech savvy and academically driven, yet many struggle with emotional resilience and the pressure of constant comparison. Success in the future isn't just about high grades. It's about the future ready skills of problem solving, emotional strength, and ability to bounce back from failure. Today, we are going to change that conversation. In today's session, we will discuss raising confident and future ready children, practical parenting strategies for the 21st century. Now, it is my genuine pleasure to introduce our facilitator for this evening, Mr. Raghavendra Dwivedi. Raghavendra Dwivedi is a Thank you. Raghavendra Dwivedi is a STG4 Master Trainer and a resource person for the Army Public School with extensive experience in teacher training, parenting guidance, and innovative classroom practices. He has conducted several impactful workshops on critical areas such as stress management, functional English, and child development. What makes his approach effective is his focus on practical, easy to implement strategies. He's here today to help us understand how to support children's emotional needs, manage academic pressure, and prepare them with essential skills they need for the future. Mr. Raghavendra, we are truly delighted to have you with us. We are ready to learn how to turn that hard work into smart work. The floor is yours.
So, first of all, I am seriously grateful to whole team Center that today I am here on the stage of Center. That's wonderful. As now I can see the comment section is continuously filling with the comment of good evening. So once again from my side, good evening. Good evening to everyone and everyone. Right? So yes, again teachers, here is speaking Raghavendra Dwivedi, your today's trainer, mentor, and your today's facilitator. And I believe that we all will enjoy our today's session very effectively. And again, I would like to repeat that please be ready with your Q&A so that we will discuss on the later ones. So yes, let's start this session. Yeah. Teachers, when we talk about confidence, as our topic is what? Raising confident and future ready children. Right? We know that now in today's era, our children has everything, each and every facility they have already everything like AI, internet, and each and everything whatever they can have. Even I know that I believe that every parent you try to provide each and every facility to their children, right? But yes, what happens, what is the outcome of this technique is this, sometimes you can still imagine that particular situation that they used to get aggressive at a particular moment. They used to get aggressive. Whatever you want to convey, they are unable to understand. Whatever you want to try to say, you want to state, they are not able to understand effectively. And yes, believe me, their parents I think few of the teachers are also here, I think, right? Because Center is a teacher community, right? So, in your classroom, maybe you have also seen that, most of the times, बच्चे क्या करते हैं हिंदी अगर मैं बोलूं कि वो बहस करते हैं, right? With the teachers, with their professors. Why they used to do? They used to do just cause of one thing, because they are unable to relate whatever you want to convey to them. What is the importance of that particular technique or particular your talk, that whichever you are already stating, you are already saying, they don't know about your importance, right? And even though there is a one another keyword or the line is, which is 21st century skills. Teachers, even though parents, we have already seen there is a, it's a very familiar topic. Even in the CPD training, CEO, mostly CBSE CEOs has already promoted this training session on the topic of 21st century skills, whether is it for the parenting technique, it's for the teaching technique and whatever, right? So teachers, students are already updated, right? But yes, we need to get mentor ourselves also, we need to get updated to ourselves also, right? So yes, teachers, now it will be the overview of the session, that what we will discuss and what will the agenda, right? So we will understand the importance of confidence and emotional strength in children. Role of parents in child development, that's very important, very important. Uh, Practical parenting strategies, communication and emotional support, preparing children for future skills. Teachers and parents, you know, as I earlier said that our students, children are already prepared, but they are prepared as per of now, as per of the present situation. What about tomorrow? What about tomorrow? What about the future? The situations are changing day by day. जो हम आज हैं वो कल नहीं है, जो कल हैं वो परसों नहीं है, राइट? सो टीचर्स, क्यों ना हम इस चीज को अपडेट, एक कहते हैं ना वर्ड, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ड है, विच नेम इज, विच स्पेल इज, विच प्रोनाउंसिएशन इज व्हाट? अपडेट. We need to update ourselves. And yes, seriously, parents and teachers, when we are updated one, our parents will be updated one, right? Okay. And when I talk about the term confidence, it's seriously important. Whether you are going for a presentation, you are going for an interview, for whatever, you need confidence. So yes, parenting in the 21st century, what is the vision? Why is it needed? Right? So yes, teachers, when we talk about rapid technological changes, teachers, in the previous era, I request you to everyone, please imagine a situation where, even in your childhood days, you used to think, what? Means you used to think that your parents used to scold to yourself, right? But what about today? Whatever they use, you want to search, even students wants to search, children wants to search, what they used to do? They used to do Google, they used to do Chat GPT, right? So yes, so parents, it's needed that we need to update ourselves with the technological changes also. If they have learned AI, we must know that how to build an AI. It's important, right? Increased academic competition. Parents, when we talk about competition, it's seriously changing day by day. It's not only changing, we know the meaning of the word change. It may be lesser, or whether may be increasing. So, it's seriously increasing day by day, right? Influence of social media. Yeah, again, I am saying, as I use a word, what? Chat GPT, Google, few of the tools, few of the technological tools I discussed, even I mentioned, right? So, most of the time we used to see that we are not updated. We are not updated with social media. Sometimes we used to see that on the Instagram, if suppose that someone has said the story, updated a story, right? Not only someone, हमारे बच्चे ही होते हैं at the end. But what about us? हम updated नहीं है तो क्या होगा? हालांकि I know that it's just an example. हालांकि with Instagram, Facebook, with these kind of apps, we are already familiar with their screen, right? But still, it's just for an example. सपोज अभी भी बहुत सारे ऐसे प्लेसेस हैं जहां पे इतनी ज्यादा अवेयरनेस नहीं है रिलेटेड टू दी सोशल मीडिया. सो वहां क्या होता है, आज भी they are not aware, parents are not aware that what their students are doing, right? What their children are doing, right? Okay, now talk about need for emotional intelligence and adaptability. When I talk about the term adaptability and emotional intelligence, I think emotional intelligence is very important. And when I talk about emotional intelligence, it always integrates the word adaptability. Firstly, we used to adopt. Like suppose that, right now, suppose that I don't have a good internet connection. So I have to adopt. From anywhere of else, I need to adopt. It doesn't matter that how am I going to give the session? How am I going to use that? But yes, it's needed कि हाँ मैं adopt करूँ. Right? It's needed. Shift from control based to guidance based. Parents, when we talk about the shift, means there is a change. What you used to see in your childhood days, you used to observe or even to see is that guardians or parents used to control yourself, right? That yes, you don't have need to do this one. It's a wrong one. It's a good way. It's a good method. Like this, they used to provide the particular guidance. Now our children all have guidance already. They all have every kind of guidance, right? But yes, they have already control. By how? With the influence of social media, as the third bullet point is already written. That they have influence of social media. So social media is already making control on their mind. But yes, we need to guide them. Like suppose that how we can manage the screen time, right? How they can, use the particular phone for multiple uses. And yes, I know that. Believe me, parents they are already well known with this. That how they can use social media for multiple purposes. Whether it can be of marketing, whether it can be of conducting session, whether it can be of advertisement and all. There are a number of techniques, right? But still, we need to guide them that what must be the effective screen time, right? I think, and parents, I have a request from you that please, you will get the poll questions continuous, so please attempt. Okay, yeah. Move on to the next. Yeah, what does future ready child mean? Parents, I think you have seen that, I have in my title, I have already written the one line that what future ready children we are preparing, right? Parents, you have seen one of the time that they have everything, as I said. But have you ever thought that most of the children, they used to get very they get a very similar problem, like anxiety, depression, frustration they have, right? Or somewhere it provides a lack of self confidence, right? And whenever we, not only our children, when we talk about we or us, whenever anyone has a lack of self confidence, believe me parents, he or she will not be able to do apply the phenomenon of problem solving ability. No, never ever never. Again I am saying, problem solving ability, when I talk about the term problem solving, it always comes from the foundation of self confidence, right? Emotional resilience. When we will guide them properly, when we'll provide them a particular guidance related to a particular technology tool, when we will provide them a particular prompt of the importance of your talk, whatever you want to convey, then definitely in them, the emotional resilience will be developed. Automatically, it will be developed, right? Communication skills. When I talk about, when I move to the term communication, it's, I think, very interesting, very interesting, because yes, communication plays a vital role in their, daily lives. Not only in their, even in our daily lives, it plays a vital role. Creativity and adaptability. Again, future ready child will be acquire the property, even the tendency of creativity, right? Even though in the general daily life, we used to mention the word, that nowadays childs, even the childrens are very creative. They are very familiar. They are very tech savvy. We used to mention. Why? Why we used to mention? Because yes, there is a very simple answer or the phenomenon that they acquires the term creativity and adaptability, right? And yes, it's my personal opinion or the views is this, that we, when we have four skills or the four domains of the skills, like self-confidence, emotional resilience, communication is the major role, and creativity and adaptability. When we have four these domains, we have expertise whenever. So problem solving ability develops automatically. It also, everything will be done automatically. Not only problem solving ability, you, our child will gain each and every skills automatically. But yes, there is a need of beginning, starting. And how the anything will begin? With the foundation. And how the foundation builds? With the awareness, right? Okay, now move to the next. Children's emotional needs. When I talk about children's emotional needs, most of the times, again, I would like to make you familiar with the situation is this, that they sometimes used to feel disagree with your talk. They used to get aggressive because of that. Why? Have you ever thought that which property of human living, even though universal human values is lacking, getting lack? Yes, something is getting lack, right? First one is that love and acceptance. Second one is that feeling values and respected. I think it's the major one. It's the major one, because yes, we have seen that when we used to scold them, whenever we used to scold them, then what happens? They used to get aggressive. But why they used to get aggressive? Because they used to feel what? Disrespected. They think that there is no respect of them in any family. There is no safe. Third one is that safe environment to respect feelings. you know as I mentioned the term respected or the term respect, so for that we are the responsible, and we need to develop the phenomenon of safe environment. Right? Whenever we are going to prepare the environment, so yes, we need to ensure, we need to inquire the tendency or the property of safe environment. Whenever the environment is safe, they will respect your feelings, our feelings, they will always respect. And when they will respect, even you will also give love to them, and they will also give love to them, to ourselves, right? It's the simple formula, right? Fourth one is this: encouragement and appreciation. Parents, most of the time it happens like, suppose that your word has a score, the 80 marks out of 100. But yes, topper student has scored 92 marks out of 100. But yes, after that, what? We used to compare. We used to see that, I think something is getting lack in your studies. That's why you scored 82 marks. While we used while scolding, we used to mention the one of the major thought or even those sentences that you are not studying properly, and you need to learn from him or her also that he or she is studying well. I know that it's right. We used to did well. Whatever we used to do for our children, it's just for their career. It's just for their development. But yes, we need to think from the perspective of what? From a mind stage of what? Child. Before stating or saying or mentioning, instructing anything, any instruction, we need to think according to the approach of what? As a child. What he or she will think. What he or she will think. Suppose that I am saying you are good. So what you will think, I must know about it. I must able to understand about it. Suppose that I am saying that you are not good. So I must know before stating this one that what he or she will think. Right? So we need to respect. And as far as we will apply these kind of rules in our daily lives, believe me, parents, believe me, you will get the positive results from your children's side. Right? For fifth one is this emotional security at home. Most of the time, you have seen that we don't give time to our children properly, right? We don't used to give time. We are busy in our work, in our professional journey and all. We are not discussing with them. We are not even asking a single question with them that uh, what you have done into school today. How was your day? We don't ask such kind of questions. We don't conduct the icebreaker. Icebreaker, whenever I used to talk about icebreaker, it's seriously a very engaging, even the encouragement question. It can be of any type. Like as I mentioned now, that how was your day? What about your subject today, geography? Right? Like these kind of questions always increase the encourage, encouragement, or somewhere we may say that not only encouragement, it always enhances the engagement. They will be more likely to engage with your talks. They will reply you, and then a communication bond builds up, and it will getting stronger and stronger. Right? Now move on to the next. Building confidence in children. How we will build? Because till then we were only discussing the one thing, that what exactly the confidence is, problem solving, appreciation, encouragement, engagement, few of the terminologies we have discussed previously. But yes, parents, when I comes to about this one, that building confidence, how we will build? How will we build? Because it's seriously important now, as I discussed. So yes, we need to appreciate effort rather than only results. Right? It doesn't matter that how children, how much marks he or she has scored, but it matters that he tried well, he did well, he did the hard work, right? Or maybe, and maybe his skills may be different, his skill set, his stack may be different one from the topper student, or the topper one, or the another students, right? Suppose that I am interested in writing, maybe he or she is interested in what? Reading. So we can't compare. How can we compare? How can we compare? And most of the times, this similar question may be going on into your mind right now also, that maybe you will be thinking like that how will you make them understand? How will you make them understand about the importance of study and anything like that? Okay, how will you? So, parents, we need to give them a guidance. We are not going to getting compare of to any kind of case studies. No, you need to get or only give this kind of approach because it's needed, right? Encourage independent thinking. Thinking independently, it's a major part to build the confidence, not only in a one child, in each and every child, multiple child, right? Whenever we are independent, we will get confident very easily, automatically. Again, I would like to mention a word, automatically. Why? Because when we are independent, whenever we are independent, we are able to do, we are able to handle each and every task effectively, whether it's belonging from your uh, field or not, you are familiar with that particular task or not. But yes, at the end, our confidence, our child confidence will build up, right? Now, the third point is this: allow children to try new things. Parents, most of the time we used to see the one thing, what? That, we don't allow them. Like, suppose that you can still imagine now one another situation, which is that, when there was I think in the year 2014 or 2010 or 11, there was the starting or the beginning of smartphones. So there was a too much rumors, even today also, that it's not a good thing. It's not beneficial for our child, even though not for ourselves. But yes, now what about today? Not only our child, we all are using. Even we also integrated in our teaching learning process also. Even parents, you can believe me, in your parenting technique, there are so many AI tools also has been developed. But how has they got developed? With the help of technology, with the help of a smartphone, with the help of laptop. So yes, everything is important. At the end of this bullet, I would like to conclude this bullet in such a way that everything is important to experience in our daily lives, right? Support them during failures. And yeah, one more thing is that whenever we want to allow to them to try a new things, and how will they get experiential learning? How will they get be able to develop a sense of independent thinking? How will they get independent? So it's important to allow them to try new things. But yes, you need to give them guidance about new things. That yes, you don't have need to do like this. You can give the instructions to them that you don't have need to do. You can try this one, but yes, you don't have need to do this one like this. Dash. Whatever you want to do, you can mention. Right? Support them during failures. Parents, it's a genuine line, we may say that we need to support them during failures. As I also mentioned, the word anxiety, depression, frustration. Why? How is it get take birth? How it took birth in the human being, in a particular human being, just cause of three or four terminologies: frustration, depression, anxiety. Just because of what? Failures. Means when we are unable to do anything which is beyond expectation, we are unable to fulfill, then it happens. What happens? We used to get fail. And when we used to get fail, we used to stop trying new things. We used to stop get independent. We used to dependent on someone else, right? We used to think that our approach changes. That time we used to think that now, yeah, it's the first time I ever tried. Now I will not try any of the thing. Like this we used to think, right? So yes, we need to support at that moment. We don't have need to scold them. They requires love and affection from our end also, right? Celebrate small achievements. Yes, parents, we need to celebrate small achievements. Most of the time, we used to react. But suppose that your child has won a trophy in the school and you are doing your own work. I know that your work may be the important one also, right? But yes, we need to celebrate also, because as I said, that everything is important in our daily lives, right? So it's still important to celebrate their small achievements, right? Okay. Now, avoiding comparison. Comparison reduces self-esteem. Suppose that even still I can remind very my childhood days. Yeah, when I comes to remember my childhood days. Even my parents also used to compare the marks and skills from others. In my childhood days, now their approach has totally changed. But yes, so what reduces? How does it make an impact or effect? It reduces the self-esteem. Self-esteem means respect. Your respect reduces when you used to compare because they get aggressive. Your child will get aggressive. They are not going to give you the respect. It's very permanently, automatically, and it creates stress and insecurity. There may be the stress takes birth in their mind, right? And when it takes birth, they used to feel what? Insecure. They used to think that uh, they don't have any kind of respect in their family lives. Like this they used to think. So parents, we need to maintain some of the properties. Every child has unique strength, right? Suppose that I have thumb in such a way I can still mold, even hold in this kind of position for a very large amount of time, large span of time. When I comes to another one, maybe someone has like this and I have like this. So everyone is what? Unique. So that's why we can't compare with anyone. Suppose that, yeah, I even I can do like this also. I can hold my thumb in such a way also. And suppose that this one ex student is also able to hold his thumb in such a way also. What happens? So you can compare. But when I comes to about this, that like this and one is like this, there is a too much difference between both of the thumb. Difference is very simple. What? That every property is unique. This thumb has unique properties and this thumb is unique property, right? Focus on individual process, right? Whenever we are going to talk about individual progress, means results, we will get happy. Seriously, not only we, even our child will also get happy, our students will also get happy, right? And encourage improvement. Most of the improvements, they are not professional, they are personal one. We need to encourage, and yes, when we will encourage, they will feel more secure. They will build a domino of self-respect or self-esteem, right? And you will get at the end the better results from your child. Automatically you will get better results, right? Developing emotional resilience. How would we able to develop emotional resilience? I think it's too much needed, right? Teach children to handle failure positively, right? Most of the time, what we used to do, if our child is panic, we also used to get panicked that yes beta, what will happen now? Now think, what will happen? What will happen? We used to think. So parents, we need to avoid this one, right? We need to avoid this one. We need to think, because yes, even most of the times I used to do the same one also. For that, I seriously apologize, right? Encourage problem solving. Parents, when I used to talk about this one, that problem solving, we need to encourage. But how we will encourage? We need to allow to try to them new things. Again, every year today's story is totally moving on the around the word what? New. Or another word we can say that experiential. Experiential, right? Okay. Help them manage emotions. When I talk about this, so it's very common nowadays generation. Our children are not able to manage their things. Not only their emotions, they are unable to manage their things also, their studies also, each and everything. Why? Because we have not taught them management skill. So dear parents, humble request from my end that please encourage them to try to do new things, and provide them a tendency of what? Management. Please provide them a new skill. Teach them a new skill whose name is management. Right? Now comes to know about provide emotional support during challenges. When I talk about that emotional support, suppose that, you know, your exam is on what? Yeah, tomorrow. Your exam is on tomorrow. And yes, your exam is on tomorrow. And you have a challenge of electricity. Like suppose that you have a lack of electricity at your home. So what your parents must do, they need to provide you the emotional support. They must motivate yourself that no beta, you will do it well, you will go on tomorrow, you will be able to achieve good marks, right? So yes, like this we need to provide them emotional support during challenges. And now, last point is this: promote a growth mindset. You know, as again, I am saying that, everything we have everything. But yes, we need to promote a growth mindset. We have everything, even our, children have everything. But still, AI, even no other technology is going to promote a growth mindset. Even no any human is going to provide them a like this kind of skill or technique or a career option like this mindset. No one is going to change the mindset of a particular child. So who will change the mindset? Parents will change. Means ourselves. We all will change. Right? Move on to the next. Managing academic pressure. Again, I comes to this word that managing academic pressure. We need to avoid unrealistic expectation. Those expectations which are not able going to happen, which are not your child is unable to fulfill. So why are we expecting? Why? Parents, you just need to think about the question of why. That why are we expecting in such a way? Right? We need to expect that thing or that situation, that whatever your child will be able to do. Right? So we need to expect that in that way. Suppose that you have a major subject in Hindi or in English, and suppose that I am giving you the question of mathematics. So that will be possible for you to solve effectively? Your answer will be no, because you have the questions which are already beyond your expectation, right? Beyond expectation. Okay. And yes, there is a one poll question. Parents, you need to attempt this one. You can write your answers in the chat section, right? Okay. Focus on learning rather than marks. Parents, it's important that we need to focus on learning. When I comes to about the term marks, yeah, I can still score marks by doing any kind of cheating. I can cheat, right? But yes, when it comes to the term learning, learning never comes from the terminology whose name is marks. It never comes. Never, ever, and never. Right? Encourage course and creativity. We need to encourage them. Maintain balanced routine means M for maintain and M for managing. Once you are able to maintain each and everything, you will gain the skill automatically, which name is management. Automatically you will be able to, right? Supporting children during exam stress, that's very important. We need to do, right? Okay. Move on to the next. That creating a positive learning environment. Till then, parents, we have already talked about the term that what is the importance of confidence, and how is the term affect adaptability and all the thing, confidence, how we can build and all the things. But what about the term positive learning? What does it mean? Right? Previously, we have already talked about management, managing routine, and all the things. right? So regular study routine. When it comes to know about the term regular study routine, when our child is able to do manage each and everything regularly, then I think that will be more possible for him or her, that he or she will feel positive. Definitely, parents, he or she will feel positive, right? Quite an organized study space. Whenever, you can still imagine a situation of a room, right? That, suppose that in your room there is a too much chaos, right? And you can still imagine another situation of your room, that, everything is well organized, neat and clean. So where will you feel positive? You will feel positive in the option number B, where everything is looking organized, well organized, and maintained. Once again, I am saying, once we are able to maintain each and everything, we are we have already gained a management skill, right? Encourage questions and curiosity. Promote reading habits. Show interest in children's learning. Yeah, most of the time we don't encourage to ourselves also, that we don't ask each and everything about their studies, what's going on. We only know the duty. What is the duty? We only visit to schools, that what? Today is the PTM and now we need to visit, and that's all, right? So, parents, we need to not only keep them an eye on them only. We need to keep them an eye on their studies also, on their backgrounds also, on their domains also, skill set also. We need to give them attention, right? Okay. Now, when I comes to this, that effective parent-child communication, because till then we were only discussing the importance of communication, but how we will be able to build. How? I am asking that how we will be able to build. So, yes, listen actively to children. Parents, we most of the time we don't get the importance of esteem while communicating with them, right? So, what happens? We are not able to build the stronger bond. And when we are unable to build a stronger bond of communication, they used to get deflected in the multiple direction, like some of them here, some of them here, some of them here, and all. And what happens? You can still imagine a situation of room. Everything will be unorganized. Like someone is here, some of the thought is here, someone is here, like this. We need to organize them in a set, in a stack. We need to organize them, right? Encourage open conversation. When we talk about that, the term conversation, open conversation, we most of the time used to, don't used to get open. And when we are unable to open with them, we will not match our vibe with them. So, they are not going to open. And when they are not going to open, they are not able to promote the open conversation. And when they are not able to promote that open conversation, they will not communicate with you at the end. When they will not communicate with you, this is the major reason that the nowadays in the new modern era, the relations between parent and child are not strong. This one is the major factor, right? Speak respectfully. Self-esteem, parents' self-esteem is very, very, very important nowadays. When we are unable to maintain, they used to get aggressive. When they are able to get aggressive, they are not going to promote open conversation. And and by default, you will also not listen effectively, right? Now, show interest in children's learning. It's important, as I already told, right? We need to show the interest. Listening. What is the importance of listening when it comes to the term listening? It's very important and interesting term, right? So it helps children feel valued. I know that parents, we all are too much busy in our daily lives, right? in this modern era. But yes, just I am not saying that suppose that maybe you are busy at a particular situation, very serious, in a very serious situation. But yes, we need to show them that yes, you are taking interest in their talks so that they will feel valued, right? We need to build stronger relationships, right? Encourages children to express thoughts. Most of the times when the childrens are not open, so they are unable to maintain this third point. They are unable to express thoughts. And imagine, and I request to each and every one of you once again, that you need to imagine a situation in the Kota Rajasthan. Maybe you have listened or hear about the news that one of the student who was preparing about the JEE, and he did the suicide. Why? What was the reason? Because he or she was unable to share his or her thoughts at their home with their parents. It was the major reason about this, right? Reduces misunderstanding. Parents, when we will, you know, give the importance of listening, whenever we will give the importance, we will be able to reduce misunderstanding. Because why? You can still again imagine a situation, right? With an example that, suppose that I have informed you that today I will take a webinar and you didn't listen effectively. You didn't, right? So, yes. So, what happened? What will happen? Anything will happen. No, it will provide the phenomenon of misunderstanding will happen. It will arise very easily. But yes, when we are listening, so I will get to know what? That today is a webinar. And there will be no anything like conflict like will start or the begin or will exist. Right? Okay. Now comes to know about this one. Managing screen time. Because yes, we are talking about managing screen time. As I earlier in the beginning of the session, I mentioned the one thing, which was that we need to manage screen time, right? They have everything, they have technology, but yes, we need to give them guidance. Technology has already make a control into their mind. It has already. We don't have need to control them. We need to give them a guidance. We don't have need to make a control on their body, on their lips. We need to provide them a guidance that how to use this technology, right? How to manage, right? So set clear screen time limits, right? We need to set. And parents, there is a one another poll, you need to attempt it in your chat section or the comment section. Encourage educational content. Parents, whenever we are able to encourage educational content, it will be more easy for them. Promote outdoor activities. It's seriously important, right? It always builds what? A balance between a digital and the real world experiences. And monitor online safety is very important. It's very important, believe me, right? Teaching responsibility. When I comes to know about the term responsibility, we are the parents, I know that. But yes, we also play a role of a teacher. We always used to play a role of a teacher. We used to assign a small household tasks. We can make them engage with the favor of the activities, right? We don't encourage most of the time. I have seen that, we don't encourage for the decision making, right? We don't encourage. We used to say the one line, which is that, "Beta, you are too much younger. You are not elder like us. We have a broader experience of 40, 80 years, 20 years, 25 years, right?" We used to say like this. But we shouldn't. When we will encourage decision making, it will make them independent. When they will get independent, it will be there will be the birth of what? Confidence will build automatically. Again, I'm using the word automatically, right? Teach time management. We need to teach them a time management. Promote accountability for actions. Build independence. At the end, what happens? Independence will build automatically. Encouraging problem solving. Ask children to think of solutions, not the problems. And encourage critical thinking. Allow them to face small challenges. I'm not giving you the tip of that you need to encourage them that they should in solve a very broader and larger and longer problems. No, very small tasks they need to solve, so that their mind will get open, more open, right? Discuss different ways to solve a particular problem, right? When we have different ways, so what happens? We are, we have the term or the word multiple. We used to get develop a phenomenon of what? Multiple intelligence. And at then what happens? We are able to promote decision making. It happens. Right. Now move on to the next. The one thing is that demonstrate positive behavior. When I talk about this one, that how we will demonstrate a positive behavior, and uh, you know yeah, positive behavior. Parent as role models, right? When I talk about the term role model, every child has role model in their life, everyone even, right? So we need to demonstrate a positive behavior. Whatever we will provide them an environment, so they will also give me the environment in the future also. So we need to keep it something in our mind. It's a very important thing. Show respect and empathy. We need to show them, not sympathy. We need to give them what? Empathy. Maintain healthy habits, display problem solving skills, encourage lifelong learning. At the end, I would like to say that of this, the another poll is already given to you. Please, I request to everyone, kindly go through with it and answer it in the chat section or the comment section. Okay. So encourage lifelong learning. We need to encourage, right? So that they will be able to what? Get independent. After what happens? Confidence will build automatically, right? Developing future skills. How we will be able to develop future skills? Creativity and innovation is the only foundation of the development of future skills. Communication skills. When it comes to know about the term communication, and I think someone has already written the in the comment section the word communication, right? It's a bridge between the humans relationship. It's a bridge. Remember that parents, it's a major and the only one bridge which is responsible for preparing and the creation, for the creation of what? Relationships. It's a major word. Whether the relationship is between husband wife, whether the relationship is between a student teacher, whether the relationship is between child and the parent, but it's very important. Collaboration and teamwork we need to promote. We need to train them about the word collaboration and teamwork. Critical thinking, and at then what happens? Adaptability to change will all automatically happen. Supporting mental well-being. Again, I used to say they have too much pressure, a lot of pressure, a lot of stress they already have, right? But yes, how will they manage? How will they manage this pressure? Because we can't reduce pressure in the solo manner. No other single one can reduce our pressure. But yes, we can reduce with the human techniques or the terminologies, like spend quality time with children. It's very important. We need to spend, right? Encourage expressions of emotions. I know that we can't express our emotions or expressions in that way that a colleague of a child can provide or the express. But yes, we need to try even, right? We need to try, right? Recognize signs of stress or anxiety. As I earlier told, that every child has unique strength. So yes, every child is unique in their signs of stress or anxiety also. So yes, you need to recognize. Parents are the only one who are able to recognize their child's strength. Otherwise, no one is able to do, right? And it's the importance of parents, right? Promote healthy lifestyle habits. When it comes to the word promote, we need to promote. We are the responsible for building a foundation of our child, right? So we are the only one. Maintain supportive family environment. Yes, we need to maintain, because whenever we are supportive, they will feel respected, and when they will feel respected, the self-esteem will automatically builds up, right? Now the for the conclusion of this topic, there are few key takeaways. At the conclusion, I would like to only say the one thing is this, that we need to encourage confidence and independence. We need to avoid comparison and excessive pressure. Maintain open communication, right? Because I think it's a very important, again, I am saying or repeating that communication is the bridge between the parent and child relationship, right? Support emotional environment is very important. Focus on overall growth of a particular child. It's very important. And yes, parents, at the ending of this session, I would like to salute to your guidance. Salute to your guidance. Always, I will be humbled, right? Because yes, parents are only the foundation. Whatever today I am, just cause of my parents. I will be always humbled and grateful for their support and kind guidance. I will be always grateful. There is salute from my side to my parents, and each and every parent, there is salute from my side. And yes, now it's a ending of the session, or
A very big thank you to Mr. Raghavendra Dwivedi for this evening. Uh, Please do share your appreciation in the chat. He has given us so much to think about and take home tonight. Thank you once again. Uh, so, a few things before we close the session. If you haven't already explored the Center for Parents website, which is our online tutoring platform, do explore it. It gives you access to accredited high quality learning support from the comfort of home. We also have a growing parent community right on the platform, a space where we warmly invite you to share what you are feeling and doing and connect with parents on the same journey. And here's something to look forward to. Our next Talks for Parents session is on 1st April on the topic The Architecture of Resilience. Visit the website and know more and register for free, and do spread the word amongst your parents. Follow Senta on our social channels and stay tuned for more sessions, resources, and conversation designed just for you guys. To every parent here, thank you for showing up, for asking questions, and for caring this deeply about your child's learning. That it itself makes a beautiful evening. Thank you.